Hey everyone, witchy friends, welcome back if you have watched me for a little while. First of all, thank you for my new subscribers recently. Super appreciate that. Thank you for watching. It's really wonderful. So today's video is going to be about doing some trance work, and also to kind of posit a question that's kind of a debate. Happens periodically within the sort of magic community. I do want to preface this by saying that I am going to be talking about illegal substance use. Please don't do it. Don't do what I do. Just listen to my stories, okay? Nothing bad's happening, but don't do it, because if you do it and then you blame me, I get sued. So don't do this at home, kids. Also, if you are sensitive to this particular topic, don't watch. Click away now. Anyway, that out the way. Right, so yeah, so first of all, I'll do this. I'll posit this question, and then I'll tell you about my little hedge journey. So periodically, the question of traditional versus modern comes up a lot in witchcraft circles. I say a lot, but like I said, periodically this comes up. So there's a lot of debate and between using natural materials, traditional materials like wood and stone and bone and all that kind of stuff, versus using modern materials in witchcraft and using technology, for example. And there's always this kind of heated debate about it, and lots of purists who are very much like, nope, the old ways are the best, and it's got to be wood and it's something living, and etc, etc, etc. Now, I don't totally disagree with that, but I'm very much for me personally, I'm very much a foot in both camps. I believe, right, that witches back then, 100, 200, 300 years ago, used the materials that were available to them. They used the technology that was available to them. They used them, let's say if they were a healer, which quite often a lot of them were, they probably used like the herbal remedy knowledge that was available to them. Now, of course, we have modern medicine. Obviously, we're not doctors. We can't prescribe stuff. But you see what I'm getting at, witches used the technology and the things that were available to them in order to do their folk magic practices, and even probably high magic practices too, if you were, ceremonial user. So, I myself, I'm not opposed to using technology in my working, or modern materials in my working. If I find something that's, I don't know, an ethame that's got a resin handle, okay, if I like it and I feel drawn to it and it works for me, doesn't matter if it's made of resin, my other thought about it is this whole debate between natural versus not natural, which really comes down to, did it come out of the ground in its original form, or has a human being tinkered with it in some way, with its chemical composition in some way? Is one better than the other? I don't think so. It's everything that occurs in this world is natural, or is and by natural I mean it comes out of the earth unfettered, or is tinkered with but has a natural source. So it's like saying, oh, this thing has no chemicals. Well, everything is made of chemicals. Water is a chemical. And like, say if you take an apple, for example, an organic apple, it's filled with chemicals. Like, it has the natural, everything, literally everything is made of chemicals. Okay, so it's that whole, it has, for me, this argument has that whole, it's part of that whole debate. Anyway, I'm not opposed to using or attempting to use technology in my craft, and that is exactly what I did. yesterday, so I thought I'd come here and tell you about it as part of my as part of this question. So I am fortunate enough and privileged enough to have a Oculus Go, which is a VR, like a virtual reality headset. And I thought to myself the other day, after randomly stumbling upon an app called Flow VR, I think, or VR Flow, something like that. There's basically these just big 3D mandalas that change and come at you, and there's like little glowing balls of light that are kind of coming towards you. It's really chill, really relaxing. And the whole time, I watched it for a minute or two when I discovered it, and I was like, hey, yeah, this is pretty cool and pretty chill. I wonder if I could use this. And doing, I've always erred on the side of doing hedge work and crossing hedges and all that kind of a thing, and being in these liminal spaces. I am super into that. It's somewhere I'm very drawn to being at. So I was like, okay, why not? And I'm also not opposed to the use of substances in my own personal craft. Obviously, if it's illegal in your country, don't do it. Etc. etc. I'm not encouraging anybody to break the law or any shit like that. So just, be mindful. Disclaimers. Don't fucking sue me. Yeah. Anyway. So I thought, why not combine these two things, since one is very often used in hedge work and trance work, and why not attempt to add the other, and blend that very traditional thing with this very new and modern thing, like I was saying 2 minutes ago. So I did, and kind of with mixed success, I have to say. Like so I started with this Flow VR app that I found, and I was in front of my altar. I lit a candle, incense, the whole bit. I'd gotten myself into that kind of mindset. I'd asked for help and messages from Loki or Freya, or any guidance from Eowaz, the rune. And I put on my headset and I lay down in front of my altar, and I, saw what happened. And I tried to, see what I could see. And I did, admittedly, see a few images and things in this mandala kind of thing. And I saw like the Helm of Ore, Stag's Head. I also saw some fire and books randomly at one point. But annoyingly, the app clearly has like an auto shut off after so many minutes, and it just shut off, and I was like, oh no, it's really annoying. Or either that, the headset shuts off if there's no activity for a certain amount of time. So that was kind of annoying and kind of got me out of this headspace. But anyway, I thought, well, okay, I'm still feeling in that zone. I'm going to do some traditional meditation, but I'll use my phone. I'll look for some trance, like meditative, music or something on YouTube and see what I can find. So I did. I found one. I again lay back down, and I got back into that kind of meditative state, which didn't take me too long because I was already in that kind of place. And I ended up going back to a place that I call the Wood, and it's a place I end up quite often when I do deep meditation and trance work, and that seems to be the place that I receive messages from, or the place where that's the realm that I seem to end up in, and I see and I hear things. It's not a guarantee for me. It's very hit and miss as to whether I can actually get there, because I don't practice anywhere near frequently enough. But I'm hoping that will change, where I'm trying to change that with daily meditation. So anyway, I felt like it was kind of sort of semi-successful, and I did also I did use my Oculus again actually, and I found some 360 videos on YouTube that were quite interesting and cool. So I think next time, because I would like to do this experiment again, possibly just with the Oculus this time, just by itself, and I'll start with those YouTube videos and just somehow try and get some kind of activity or movement with my remote so that the Oculus doesn't shut off. But it's just, I think that for at least using the Oculus, that's probably the downside, is having to remember to move a bit so that it doesn't just shut off, which for me personally, when I meditate, I have to be really still. Otherwise it kind of if my body moves, I get out of that, that place. But anyway, it was a really interesting experiment and an interesting experience. And yeah, again, totally not opposed to using modern technology and materials in Minecraft. If it works, use it, and if it doesn't work, don't use it. With obvious, cultural appropriation. What's its caveats that go along with that? So yeah, so I just really wanted to share that, and like I said, posit this question to you of, do you think it's better to use, traditional materials, or do you mix your craft with modern materials / technology, or do you just stick with very old technology and old materials and what is considered traditional? I think we all have this image of ourselves being old hermits in the woods and living off the grid and all that kind of stuff, which, to be fair, does, not gonna lie, that does appeal to me a little bit. But I very much, I like to have my foot in both camps. So that's just me. But anyway, that's it, my lovelies. That's what I wanted to talk about today. If I may do a video on my daily meditation, I like to do a grounding and shielding meditation. If you're interested, I can do something along those lines, do a video on it, maybe do a guided thing with everybody. And I also will probably do a video on a new deck of tarot cards that I got that I really love and I use just for me. Yeah, so let me know. Anyway, I would really love it if you'd interact with this video in some way. Leave me a comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, share, whatever. But apart from that, I love you all. Thanks very much, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.